Imagine you're a tank commander in World War II. You're sitting inside a Sherman tank. You've trained for this. You're ready. And then, you see it. A massive, hulking steel monster rolling over the hill toward you. Your radio crackles. Your commander's voice comes through. Do not engage. I repeat, do not engage alone. Fall back and wait for backup. That was a real order. Given to real soldiers. Because of one tank. The German Tiger I. World War II had a lot of tanks. The Americans had the Sherman. The Soviets had the T-34. The British had the Churchill. All good tanks. All respected tanks. But none of them made Allied commanders change their entire battle strategy just to deal with one vehicle. The Tiger I did. When Allied forces first ran into the Tiger in North Africa in late 1942, the reports that came back were almost hard to believe. Soldiers described a tank that could sit at a distance, well outside the range of Allied guns, and pick them off one by one, and there was nothing they could do about it. Allied commanders had to write new training manuals. New rules of engagement. They told their crews, if you see a Tiger, do not fight it one-on-one. You will lose. So what made this thing so special? Let's break it down. First, the armor. The Tiger I was built like a rolling fortress. Its front armor was 100 millimeters thick. To put that in perspective, the standard Sherman tank had about 50 millimeters of frontal armor. The Tiger had twice that. But it wasn't just the thickness. The steel itself was high quality. And the way it was shaped meant that shells would often just bounce right off. Allied tank crews discovered this the hard way. They'd fire at a Tiger from a normal combat distance, the same distance that would destroy any other German tank, and watch the shell bounce off like a pebble thrown at a brick wall. Some crews reported firing 5, 6, 7 rounds at a Tiger before even slowing it down. The Tiger's side armor was 80 millimeters. Still thicker than many Allied tanks' front armor. To get through a Tiger, you had to get close. Dangerously close. Or find a very specific weak spot. And the crew inside the Tiger knew that. Which made them bold. Now here's where it gets really scary. While the Tiger was nearly impossible to kill at long range, it could kill you at long range. Very long range. The Tiger I was armed with the 88mm gun. The famous German 88. This gun was originally designed as an anti-aircraft weapon. The Germans figured out it was also incredible at destroying tanks. So they put it on the Tiger. The 88 could punch through the front armor of a Sherman tank from over 1,500 meters away. That's almost a mile. Think about that. A Tiger could destroy a Sherman from a mile away. But a Sherman couldn't reliably destroy a Tiger even at 500 meters. That gap, that deadly gap, is why Allied commanders told their crews to stay away. There's a famous account from a Tiger crew commander named Otto Carius. He described engaging dozens of Soviet tanks in a single battle. The Soviets were trying to overwhelm him with numbers. He just kept firing. One after another. His crew was methodical. Calm. Because they knew that at that range, the Soviets couldn't really hurt them. That's not a tank. That's a sniper with 57 tons of steel around it. Now, the Tiger wasn't perfect. Far from it. It was heavy. Extremely heavy. 57 tons. That caused a ton of problems, no pun intended. Bridges in Europe were not built for a 57-ton tank. Tiger crews had to constantly find alternate routes, ford rivers, or wait for engineers to reinforce crossings. Sometimes entire advances were slowed down because the Tiger couldn't cross a bridge. The Tiger also broke down. A lot. Its engine and transmission were constantly under strain from all that weight. German mechanics became very familiar with Tiger repairs. Some historians estimate that more Tigers were lost to mechanical breakdowns than to enemy fire. It burned fuel at a staggering rate. Keeping Tigers supplied was a nightmare for German logistics, especially as the war went on and Germany was being pushed back on all fronts. And it was expensive. Germany built around 1,347 Tigers total during the entire war. The Americans built over 49,000 Shermans. The Soviets built tens of thousands of T-34s. Germany simply could not build enough Tigers to change the outcome of the war. The Allied strategy, swarm it, overwhelm it, hit it from the sides and rear, worked. Eventually. But in a one-on-one fight? The Tiger almost always won. Here's something history books don't always talk about: the psychological effect of the Tiger. Allied soldiers became almost obsessed with it. Infantrymen would report Tiger sightings even when there were no Tigers anywhere near them. Regular German tanks, like the Panzer IV, started getting called Tigers just because soldiers were so on edge. The Allies even gave this a name. They called it Tiger phobia. Entire operations were delayed or changed because commanders were afraid there might be Tigers in the area. Not confirmed Tigers. Just, possibly. That is an extraordinary thing. A weapon that doesn't even have to be present to affect the battle. The Tiger had become a legend while the war was still happening. Stories of Tiger crews, like Michael Wittmann, who allegedly destroyed over 100 Allied vehicles in his career, spread through both sides of the conflict. On the German side, Tiger crews were celebrated as heroes. On the Allied side, they were the boogeyman. The Tiger I stopped being produced in August 1944. Germany had moved on to newer designs, like the King Tiger, which was even bigger and more powerful, but even more unreliable. After the war ended, the Tiger became one of the most studied tanks in history. Military engineers from the US, UK, and Soviet Union all picked apart captured Tigers, trying to understand how Germany had built something so effective. The lessons from the Tiger-shaped tank design for decades. The idea of combining thick armor with a powerful long-range gun became the standard blueprint. You can see the Tiger's DNA in modern tanks like the American M1 Abrams and the German Leopard 2. There are only 7 surviving Tiger I tanks in the world today. The most famous one, Tiger 131, is at the Tank Museum in Bovington, England. It's the only Tiger in the world that still runs under its own power. If you ever get the chance to stand next to one in person, you'll understand immediately why it terrified everyone who saw it rolling toward them. The Tiger I wasn't the most produced tank of World War II. It wasn't the most reliable. It wasn't even the most advanced by the end of the war. But it was the most feared. And fear is its own kind of weapon. The Tiger proved that a small number of well-designed, powerful machines can force an entire enemy army to rethink how they fight, and that psychological impact outlasted the tank itself. So here's my question for you. Drop it in the comments below. If you had to choose one tank from World War II to go into battle in, which one would it be? The Tiger? The Sherman? The T-34? Let me know, I read every single comment. And if you learned something new today, or you just love this kind of military history, hit that subscribe button. We cover stories like this every week, the weapons, the battles, and the people behind them that most history classes never teach you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.